That's the greater adjutant stork. The imposing 1.5 meter tall bird has long and stiff legs, a massive sword-like beak, and a huge dangling orange air pouch. Acid black in color, this bald-headed bird has intense blue eyes. It helps farmers by killing the rats and other pests in their fields. This omnivorous scavenger lives in the forests, grasslands and wetlands of Cambodia and parts of eastern India. Around 80% of these storks is found in Assam's Dadura village in the Kamrup district. But over the past few years, its population has been going down. Blame it on the widespread destruction of wetlands and the storks' nesting trees. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, only 800 to 1,000 mature greater adjutants survive across the globe now. We humans don't really like this smelly bird much and say that it brings bad luck. In Assam, locals call it Hargila, which means bone swallower. Take its name just once and someone is sure to tell you how ugly it looks. Hello and welcome to Times of India Gold podcast. I'm Sonalika Sinha. In Green Crusaders, today we have with us Purnima Devi Burman. Purnima is a wildlife biologist of Assam who has been working relentlessly over the past 15 years to not just save the greater adjutant but also change people's perception about this bird. She knew it was not a task that she could accomplish alone, so she created an all-woman Hargila army to help her fight the battle for the bird. Now, at least 1,000 homemakers assist her in trying to integrate the greater adjutant into people's tradition and turn it into a cultural icon.
Now, Hargila birds are celebrated as their children, as a cultural icon, and whenever we have our ritual event, when we have our traditional event, when we have our folk songs, so when we have our prayers, so Hargila part of our fashion, Hargila army. I would like to share with you a special event or special story about our Hargila baby shower. Hargila baby shower like God Bharai in Hindi and Panchamrit ceremony in Assam. So we celebrate Hargila baby shower for our Hargila birds, and we celebrate it exactly like the way we celebrate for our Assamese expecting mothers, following the same rituals.
The Hargila Army runs a major program for school children. It has designed environmental education classes for the youngsters. They have a Hargila assembly in school and a Hargila learning center in the village. Here the army teaches students about Hargila so that the children become Hargila ambassadors. But why are the birds getting extinct? Breeding has a very low rate of success in the Hargilas. The baby birds characteristically fall down from the trees. Most of the trees on which the birds live are privately owned and the government has no say over them. Since locals consider the Hargilas a bad omen, they cut such trees.
Many baby birds during the breeding seasons, they fall down and we rescue the birds. Then we collaborate with Forest Department, Assam Forest Department. They help us and then we transport this bird to Assam State Zoo and Assam State Zoo with Forest Department. They hand raise the birds and then we release the birds into the wild. And this way, so far, we have rehabilitated 400 baby birds. To reduce the injury, we put nets under the nesting tree or under the nest. Below the nest, we put nets. So then the baby birds, when they fall down, then it's like a spring effect and the birds have reduced, we could reduce the injury.
Purnima looks at the Hargilas with awe and compassion. Maybe because her connection with the bird developed quite early in life.
Know about that. My grandma connected me with Hargila birds when I was a child, when I was a very restless child, naughty child. So my grandma had a solution to connect me with birds, with nature. So she always took me to her paddy fields or amidst nature, and she gave me some job like home assignment. So please count these birds, because I was very restless at that time. So my grandma had a solution for me, and at that time I befriended with many storks, many other species of like birds, then vultures. I still remember. So then when I was an adult, I didn't see them in my locality. They were totally missing.
Purnima's fascination soon turned into an obsession. She extensively read any literature on the greater adjutant that came her way. Till this time, she knew nothing about conservation. Her definition of conservation was doing a master's and a PhD on the bird. She wanted to become an academician and started writing for environmental books for school children.
But everything changed one day. I got a call from a villager. I went to a village, and I saw a man cutting down a huge nesting tree. It was a nesting. It was a tree of. It was a kadam tree, Anthocephalus kadamba. So, and this person cut down the tree, and when I was there, I was shocked. When we see a tree, I never realized that it's so huge. When it was lying down, and the tree it's so huge. And then what I saw was what shocked me was that 9 baby birds fell down. All were Hargila baby birds, and 9 nests fell down broken. And so their parents were they were far. A few of them were seeing the situation from the far. And I was when I saw these babies, I got deeply, it deeply pained me.
Purnima tried speaking to the owner of the nesting tree, but he just wouldn't listen.
The tree owner, he started mocking me and insulting me. And when I told them that this is a breeding season of the bird, so they have a family and we should not cut the trees when the birds have a breeding season, it's so important. So then this person was very angry on me. He was reacting on me, and his neighbors, they joined and they started mocking me, insulting me. And one of them told that this bird, why we should bother? This bird doesn't need to live. It's a bad omen. It's a bad luck.
That night, Purnima could not sleep. But she returned the next day and started cleaning the campus. She requested the man who had cut down the tree to let her take care of the baby birds that were still alive. To her surprise, he started cleaning the campus along with her and decided not to cut the second tree where the storks were nestling. And thus began her mission to save the dying species. 15 years later, people no longer cover their nose when she passes them by. In 2017, President Ramnath Kovind presented her with the Nari Shakti Puraskar, the highest civilian award for an Indian woman. The same year, she received the Whitley Award, also called the Green Oscar, which was presented to her by Princess Anne of the United Kingdom. She also received the UNDP Biodiversity Award in 2016, among several other honors. But Purnima says her biggest moment of pride was when communities started calling her Hargila Baido, or the Stork Sister. That's all for now. I'm your host Sonalika Sinha signing off. Do wait for our next episode of Green Crusaders and keep listening to the Times of India Gold podcast.